guys, it's Catherine and welcome to my channel. I can't believe I'm saying that. I have Stitch here with me. This will be our first ever video on this channel, so get ready. It's gonna be exciting. I am here today to tell you 7 things that I wish I knew and that I want you to know before you leave for your DCP. Now, I did the DCP back in spring 2017, so it has been almost 2 years now. So why, you ask, am I making this video now as opposed to when I'm actually going to be doing the DCP? Well, here's the thing. I have been wanting to vlog ever since I did my DCP. I tried to do it there, I failed. I did not put in the time or the effort that it would take to be successful and to actually make the videos. Now that I've been through it, I want to share my experience, and I'm hoping to do that starting with this video. And another thing is that I have something very exciting coming up in my life, which unfortunately I can't share on this video today, but it is the perfect time to start this channel, and I want you guys to follow me along because it will be the most amazing experience ever, and I'm so excited, and I should stop talking about it now because I can't go into any more detail. So thank you for watching, and please, when this video is done, leave your feedback in the comments below. I would love to, especially since I'm just starting out, get feedback or ideas or, any inspiration at all. Just let me know because I wasn't consistent last time, so I will be consistent this time. Trust me on that. So, getting into the video. So, I know when preparing for the DCP, it is tough because it feels like there's a lot of unknowns. You apply, you get in, you get on the Facebook page, but you still don't really know what to expect when you get there. You don't know really about where you're going to be living. You're obviously not able to see the apartments. You don't know what your day-to-day is going to be like. At least I didn't. I watched a lot of YouTube videos on the college program, so I was able to get a rough idea of what the lifestyle was like, but you still never know what your work schedule is going to be like, what your roommates are going to be like, or really what you're going to be doing on a day-to-day basis. So I put together a list, it's right up here, that's why I keep looking there, of 7 things that I wish I knew before I left that would have helped me a lot and would have helped me to plan. Now, I'm a planner. I like everything down to a T set in stone as much as it can be, and it stresses me out when it's not that way. So if you're like that, hopefully these tips will help you. I know that the spring 2019 program is coming up pretty quickly. We're already in November, so a lot of you are preparing to leave for your DCP. Most of you will be your first time. Some of you maybe not, but maybe you're in a different role, and maybe a lot of things are changing, so hopefully this will be able to help. So the number 1 tip that I would have is to, first of all, save as much money as you can, but also budget your money once you get there. So obviously we're all in college. It's hard sometimes to be able to save money while you're in school full time. I totally understand that. I, for one, was not able to save as much as I would have liked. Now, that being said, my school was amazing. They gave me credit for doing the DCP, and I also was able to apply to a grant. Now, my school does these grants, I forget the official name of them, for people who are doing internships that are unpaid. So you can apply if you have an internship that is unpaid, and you just write the amount of hours you're working, travel time, and it's supposed to make up for your time and your travel and all the expenses that may entail of you doing this internship. And this is to, encourage people to, first of all, get out and get that real world experience, because some people, may not be able to do those internships if they can't afford travel, or if they don't have a car or they don't have any business clothes. So that's a little side note there. So I was able to, under a rare circumstance, apply for the DCP even though it was already a paid internship, but I was able to do that because it was such a rare circumstance. You know, obviously I was traveling from Massachusetts, where I live, to Florida, so it was a big expense. So my school, the point of that story is my school granted me some money to prepare me for the DCP and to help me get down there and have the best experience as possible without, you know, running through my entire bank account just to get there and ending up not having as good of an experience. So a little side note, I don't know if other schools do that, but I wanted to mention it just in case your school does, because it's something that's really great and it helped me a lot. I ended up shipping my car actually and flying down, so I didn't actually physically drive, which was quite the expense. So that was very helpful in that way. So if you're not sure if your school does that, definitely look into it because it's something that helped me a lot. Now, if you know your school doesn't do something like that, I would definitely try and save as much money as you possibly can before you leave. Now, there are so many expenses that go into just traveling down to Florida, depending on where you're from. So it's really important to be prepared because keep in mind, you do not get a paycheck until you're there for a few weeks. You have to go through traditions, which can take a few days, and then you have other trainings, and you have to do a lot of, you know, kind of orientation type things once you get there before you actually start working. So it can be quite a few weeks before you get your paycheck, so please keep that in mind. Whether you need supplies for your apartment or groceries, anything in general, you might need to buy shoes for work, so please save as much as you can. Now that's for before you get there. Now once you get there, and I will say that I did not do this, and I wish I did, try and budget your money as much as you can. So you get paid a certain amount every week. You get your paycheck on Thursdays or Fridays, depending on your banks. I know some people who got it deposited on Thursday, some people didn't get it till Friday, but whenever it may be for you, you get it once a week, so it's really nice. You get paid every single week. If you live in CP housing, you will get your rent deducted out of your check each week, so keep that in mind when planning as well. Your check may not be as much as you would have thought because of that, and dependent on how many hours you work, the remainder will be what you physically get. So obviously you are in Disney World, you want to buy merch, buy food, buy all of these things, which I am totally for. I did and will still do all of these things every time I go to Disney. Now, it is important not to go through your paycheck and not be able to afford gas or groceries or bills if you have to pay them. So please try and budget as much as you can. What I did, I allowed myself a certain amount of spending money every week and put the rest into my savings, and I was able to actually save a lot of money during my CP, so that worked out really well. And I also did a lot of fun things. Another thing that I did a lot was I would bring food with me if I were to go to the park, so that I didn't have to spend a lot of money on food there. So that's a little hack, but you know, sometimes that's boring. You want to try the cool foods in the park. So another tip that I learned was to get kids meals. They're still a great portion. They're much less expensive than the adult meals, and you still get the same food. So that's a little hack to save a bit of money. And yeah, so that was a really long way of saying budget as much as you can, because you don't want to leave there with no money and not be able to get home. You don't want to get there and have no money and not be able to do anything. Just please try and save as much money as you can. It all adds up faster than you think, especially if it's your first time living in an apartment complex rather than just a dorm room. You have to factor in all the household expenses, cleaning supplies, dish soap, bathroom supplies, and also the supplies that you need just for your bedroom. So please factor that in when you're planning. With that being said, this kind of goes hand in hand. So something that I did that I'm so thankful that I did was prep a lot before I left. So I went out at home and got all the toiletries I need, all the cleaning supplies I needed, my bedding, everything I needed for my room, and I just wanted to get it all out of the way. Like I said, I'm a planner, so I wanted to make sure that I had everything before I left and I would be all set when I got there. And that is something that I am so thankful I did. So a big thing is that there's one Walmart near CP housing that everyone goes to. So by the time my roommates and I got to our apartment, and keep in mind I had the earliest check-in, so I checked in at 8 a.m. and as well as one of my roommates. So we needed hangers and a few other things, and when we went to Walmart, everything was sold out. The shelves were cleared. Like, I have never seen a Walmart that empty in my life. So keep in mind that everyone does have the same move-in date as you in your area that you're living typically. So there's going to be a lot of people who are needing the same things that you may need. So try and prep as much as you can before you leave. Obviously, if you're flying, this may not be as easy, but keep in mind that you may not be able to get what you need straight away. So definitely prepare yourself for the worst, I'd say, and make sure you're all set and don't leave everything until last minute, because then you can be scrambling around and stressed out when you really want to be enjoying your time in Florida. So another thing, this is number 3, in case we lost track, I've kind of started to ramble here. So number 3, plan accordingly, which goes hand in hand with these other 2 that I was saying. Now, if you're driving and you're from up north, please keep in mind that snow exists up here. If there's a big snowstorm and you aren't able to drive down the night before, if that's what you were planning on doing, then you're kind of out of luck, because your check-in date is your check-in date. Obviously, they're understanding if things happen, but that was something that I thought of before I left. Like, what if there's a snow day, or you know, what if something prevents me from getting down there as quickly as I thought? So I went down 2 days before my check-in date. So I was able to kind of get relaxed, enjoy the sun for a little bit, and make sure I had everything I need once I was there. I know a lot of people will try and either drive, or if you're flying, the same day as your check-in. I just would not recommend that, just in case, you know, life happens, things happen, your flight could be canceled or delayed, and you know, then like I said, they are understanding, but then it stresses you out and you don't, you know, then you end up getting there and you're all jumbled. So I would say plan accordingly as much as you can. Please give yourself enough time so that you're not in a pickle or stressed or feeling a lot of pressure once you get there. You know, really the moral of the story here with all of this is just to stay relaxed and plan. I know it's sometimes hard to go from college to a new place. Like, it's similar to college where you're living with people and so yeah, all those tie in together. Basically, just keep in mind that anything can happen, and make sure that you're prepared and you know what you need and what can possibly go wrong, basically. So you don't get stressed like I typically would if one of these things happened. Now, number 4 is a big thing that I did not do. So, like I mentioned, I'm from the north. It's cold up here. And when I think of Florida, I think hot weather, shorts, tank tops, and sandals. No. So I did the Spring 2017 program, like I mentioned. So I got down there in January and packed for summer weather. Obviously, it's warmer in Florida than it is in Massachusetts in January, but I did not bring a jacket. I did not bring nearly enough sweaters or jeans. And I know a lot of the people were the same way as me, where I guess we just didn't realize that it got that cold. Like I always knew that you would put on a sweater or something, a light jacket at night there, but no, it can get really cold. Like some days it was in the 40s and I was freezing, so I highly recommend planning accordingly in that way. Bring a light jacket, bring some sweaters, even a pair of boots I wish I had. It can get pretty cold, especially in those January, February months. So definitely don't expect it to be summer weather all the time, at least not right away. And in that way, please make sure you're prepared. Don't just bring shorts and tank tops because you are going to freeze your butt off. I need to sit still. I keep like... yeah, so number 5 is, and this I didn't do, but it's something I wish I did, make reservations. So keep in mind that you are in Disney World. There are a lot of families and, you know, even locals who are going to be in the parks at the same time as you. Yes, you do get in for free. Yes, it's amazing, but you may not have availability for all the things that you want to do. So I would definitely say ahead of time. Unfortunately, you cannot make fast passes until you have your pass to get into the parks, obviously, so that's not something you can do, but you can make reservations for dining. Now, I happened to be looking up reservations the other day for this coming January, hint hint, and a lot of them were very full already. So I would say if you have your roommates, if you have some friends, and you, or even if you're by yourself, if you really want to eat at a certain restaurant, maybe to celebrate getting there, I would definitely look very much ahead of time and make a reservation as soon as you can, because if you get there and then you try and decide to do it last minute, it may not be available. So that is something I definitely wish I did. My roommates and friends and I didn't eat at table service restaurants as much as I would have liked, but that is something that I hope to change in the future. So definitely make reservations for any restaurants that you would like to eat ahead of time. I keep looking over here, like my note literally just says make reservations, and I keep like looking for more, but every time I look, it's still just what it says. So I don't know, I'm nervous or something. My first video. So number 6, I wrote it as be prepared to lose sleep. Now, something that I did not realize as much before I got there was that your friends and your roommates' schedules are going to be so all over the place, more than you expect. Now, I rarely had the same day off as one of my friends or roommates, and if I did, it would be one of those things where I had the day off and one of my friends worked at, say, 4 o'clock, so we just had the morning. So it's very hard to do all of the things that you want to do with your friends around your schedule. So I would say be prepared to make sacrifices and to just go for it. Honestly, like some nights I would get home from work at 11 and my friends and I would go out at 11 and do something, but just because that's the only time we had together. So you are not going to get 8 hours of sleep every night and have a perfect routine, which, like I mentioned before, I'm such a planner, so previously that's something that would have stressed me out, not being in a routine. But you really just have to embrace it and realize that you're only there once, and just, you know, do whatever you want to do. I wish I did more, and I know that everyone says that, but honestly, no matter how much you work, no matter how tired you are, yeah, obviously you're going to have to sleep sometimes if you can't keep your eyes open, but you know, if you still are able to go do something, I would say definitely do it. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience, so you don't want to have regrets. Now, just a little side note, so I worked attractions at Dinosaur in Animal Kingdom. It was amazing. Hey guys, if you're watching this, you're probably not, but Miss you guys. And that was one of the attractions that got a lot of hours. So I always had the most hours out of any of my roommates. I worked somewhere from, I'd say 45 minimum to up to 60 some weeks. I would work 6 days a week and have 1 day off. Now there were, I think, 2 weeks during my entire CP that I had 2 days off, so it was really awesome. But yeah, be prepared that you're going to work a lot. You're not on a vacation, but if you still want to do fun things and explore, which you should definitely do, just be prepared to lose sleep. Sorry, you just got to do it, but it will be so worth it. Now lastly, number 7, make a bucket list. Now, I still have a bucket list that I've not completed from 2 years ago. So, with this being said, make a bucket list and make a schedule to complete it. Now, if you have 50 things on your bucket list and you're there for 4 months and you work 6 days a week, are you going to complete this bucket list? Maybe, if you plan accordingly. If you don't, I guarantee you won't. So if you are planning on making a bucket list, definitely sit down with your friends or roommates or yourself, whoever you want to do it with, and try and plan out, let's spread it out and do one thing every week or one thing every 2 weeks on our bucket list so that you can more easily check it off. Now I ended up with like 3 weeks of my CP left and I still had 6,000 things on my bucket list that I hadn't accomplished. So definitely the moment you get there, just seize it. Don't wait. I know that it's stressful and you're trying to get into the swing of things before you go off and go crazy and run off. But I would highly recommend doing what you want to do as soon as you get there. Now you actually have the most free time at the beginning of your CP when everyone's going through traditions and casting and everyone has different training schedules. That is going to be the time when you have the most free time and are able to bond with your roommates and meet other friends. Definitely go to the housing events during that time. So obviously you can't get into the parks before you do traditions, but if you're able to cross some things off that aren't necessarily Disney or that you are able to do, I would highly recommend doing it then. But like I said, make a bucket list, strive to complete it. There's a lot of things in Disney that are outside of the box that are really fun to do. For me, myself, I really want to do the WDW 47 challenge, which is riding all of the attractions in all 4 parks in one day. I watch a couple videos of people doing that. Some people completed it, others did not, and it looks crazy. It's nonstop go, go, go. So that's something that I really want to do. So that's an example of something, that you could put on your bucket list, or maybe even eating at a restaurant, or, trying a ride that you've never been on before. That's a great bucket list item. Or eating in a restaurant that you've never eaten at before, or, really do things that are helping you step out of your comfort zone. That's what I would say. So yeah, that is pretty much it. That completes my list. I know that I rambled a lot, but hopefully you get the gist of it. There are so many things that I wish I did on my CP that are hard to put into words. So I love watching these videos and they really help me. So hopefully something like this will help you, and I really want to be consistent with this and make a lot more videos. So if anyone does have any suggestions or any feedback, please leave them below. I'll also put my Instagram below, follow me. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will be back soon with that information that I told you guys about before that I can't say now, but I will say soon. So stay tuned because it's gonna be good.